All right, hello. This is Irony Boxing coming with your third live show. Um, First and foremost, God bless you all. Um, Hope you're having a great day, great night, great evening, great afternoon, whatever the case may be. And thank you for tuning in. Okay. Now, this is, like I say, my third live. Now, I am working my way up to 100, top 100 must see fights in boxing. I went through the first 20 on my previous live stream yesterday. Let me go ahead and run down through those 20 fights quickly that I made. Again, this is in no particular order. When I get to the 100, then we can do an open panel live stream and we can put those in order, okay? Nevertheless, the first 20 that I selected was Tommy Hearns and Marvin Hagler, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, okay? My personal favorite fight of all time, okay? Um, then I went with Arturo Gatti versus Irish Mickey Ward, the first one. Okay. Um, After that, I went with Eric Terrible Morales versus Marco Antonio Barrera, the first one as well. Feel free to watch the whole trilogy, obviously, but the first one was an unbelievable fight. Okay. Highly recommend, of course, needless to say. Then I went with Riddick Big Daddy Bo versus Evander, the real deal, Holyfield, the first one. Again, feel free to watch the whole trilogy, but the first one, good God, what a fight that was. Thank you for the fight, both of you. Okay, let's see. I went with Tim Desert Storm Bradley versus Ruslan, the Siberian Rocky Provodnikov. Unbelievable fight. Um, Fight of the year for sure. Tim Bradley showed just a brave heart type of heart, so to speak. Please go watch that fight if you haven't. Something tells me that you have already. Then I went with my favorite heavyweight of all time, Mr. Big George Foreman versus Ron Lyle. Oh my God, what a fight that was! That's must see TV right there. Must see fights. Okay, George Foreman versus Ron Lyle. Okay. George Foreman, one of the legendary chins in boxing history, said himself he's never in his life been hit as hard as he was hit that evening by Mr. Ron Lyle. Okay. Let's see. I followed that up with Diego Chico Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo. What a fight that was. 12 round, unforgettable round. Two knockdowns for Diego Corrales, beats his mouthpiece to gain a few extra seconds, and then knocks Castillo out on his feet. Okay. Let's see. I pivoted to Diego Chico Corrales. I'm sorry, Julio Cesar Chavez versus Meldrick Taylor. Okay. Um, to me, that's a tragic fight, but nevertheless, um, must see fight because Taylor was outboxing him beautifully, and Chavez showed the heart of a lion by keeping the pressure on him. And, eventually the final round was what it was, right? Oh, yes, we have James Lights Out Tony versus Mr. Vasily Girov. What a fight that was. I remember that fight as if I saw it yesterday. I followed that up with Orlando El City Salido versus Terzak Kokit Jim. Just this is the lowest profile fight that I have, at least for my first 20. I would highly recommend you. How you doing, Boxing with 2-4? Thank you for tuning in, brother. Thank you for saying hi. Hope you're having a great day. And if you haven't seen that fight that I put on the chat, please watch it. Okay, you will not be disappointed. I guarantee you that. Okay. Um, After that, I went to a recent fight, which is Callum Smith versus Joshua Buatsi, an absolute back and forth war where both guys took each other's best shots. Callum Smith got the victory, but there was really no loser in this fight. Not really. Okay, so I'm selecting fights for different reasons, right? I'm giving you wars. I'm also giving you high level chess matches. I'm mixing it up. Okay, and again, this is in no particular order. Okay, so after Callum Smith and Joshua Buatsi, we have both fights with Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. Those are must-see fights, an absolute clash of styles where the unstoppable force meets the immovable object. Okay, and they split those one-on-one. Please let me have that trilogy, and please don't let me see Artur Beterbiev being a shell of himself in the third fight. Okay, that's all I ask. Okay, after those, I went to who you got in the trilogy. Oh boy. I love them both, right? I love them both. Um, I got Dimitri Bivol in the trilogy, personally. I got Dimitri Bivol in the trilogy. I think it's gonna take a 2-1. Um, Man, I'm not mad if you pick Beterbiev or anybody for that matter. Feel free to pick Mr. Artur Beterbiev, the wrecking machine himself. Okay. Who you got 2-4? Let me see who you got. I got Bivol. Yeah, I got Bivol edging it out again. Okay. After those two fights, I went to Irish Mickey Ward versus Emmanuel, the drunken master Augustus. Absolutely unbelievable fight. Please go watch that. They're almost evenly matched. Yes, they are. Boxing Hacker. You're talking about Bivol Beterbiev? Yes. Um, I agree with you, Mr. Boxing Hacker. I got Bivol, but I want Beterbiev to stop him. Okay, okay. Give me some sauce. 2-4. Give me some sauce. Give me a round. Is it gonna be late? Is it gonna be? Give me some sauce here. You know. I like it. I like it. Um, Okay, so Mickey Ward versus Emmanuel Augustus, and then the last three fights that I picked for the first 20 out of the 100 that I'm selecting must-see fights. I have Roberto Manos de Piedra Duran versus Marvelous Marvin Hagler. This is a fight that was a pleasant surprise for me. Mind you, Marvelous is my all-time favorite fighter. Okay, but Roberto Duran coming, I think it was fresh off of the Tommy Hearns vicious KO, right? Me look that up real quick. I think it was fresh off of that one, and obviously anybody I think would, everybody I think would agree that the best Duran was lightweight Duran, right? But nevertheless, oh no, okay, Marvelous fight was before the Tommy Hearns fight, okay, but nevertheless he went against the, in my opinion, GOAT middleweight fighter and just gave him hell, and that was a very close fight. Very close fight. Like 9-12 type. Boxing 2-4 says like okay, in between round 9 to round 12. Okay, so it will be towards the second half of the fight. Okay, towards the tail end. Slow roast beating after early knock. Okay, so you got him dropping him early and just okay, and just finally just people can't take no more. Okay. I mean, I can see that happening. I can definitely see that happening. I mean, Beterbiev, if people doesn't exist, but Beterbiev has literally a perfect record. Okay, so yeah, I can see that happening. He's fighting Dion Nicholson. We'll see in Bivol. I think is recovering from a back surgery or something. So we'll have to see what happens with that one. Okay, so I got Duran Hagler. So two more to go. That's Alexis Arguello versus Aaron Pryor. Okay, must see fights. Sour taste in my mouth. Obviously, I'm an Arguello guy, but Aaron Pryor is an absolute beast. Okay, and then I finished that up with a trilogy: Rafael Marquez versus Israel Vasquez. The trilogy. Feel free to watch all those fights. Unbelievable fights. Okay, so those are my first 20 out of the 100 must see fights. Okay. Um, okay, so we're going to start the second list of 20. Okay. The first fight that I have is what to me is the greatest upset in boxing history, and that is Muhammad Ali versus Big George Foreman. I know most people have Mike Tyson versus Buster Douglas, but Muhammad Ali versus Big George Foreman. I remember vividly my father telling me where he was literally scared for Muhammad Ali's life going into that fight. I remember my father telling me he was scared for Muhammad Ali's life before that fight. And Stephen A. Smith, the famous broadcaster, he told a story where I can't remember if it's his father or grandfather, that told him they were literally scared and was crying and scared for Ali's life. That's how dangerous prime Big George Foreman was, and his aura and everything. To me, the scariest dude ever to step on the ring, and Ali pulled that off. That to me, okay. There's like three or four great choices here, right? Tyson and Douglas being one of them, obviously. But to me, Ali Foreman is the greatest upset in boxing history. Okay, feel free to put in the comments. Agree, disagree. If you don't, maybe you have a different one. Okay. Um. So that's the first fight that I recommend on my second group of 20. Muhammad Ali versus Big George Foreman. Um, Second fight is yes, what most people, in my experience, have as the greatest upset. That's Mike Tyson versus James Buster Douglas. Buster Douglas had a lot of talent, was very athletic, had a very good jab, great uppercut. Um, but he was also not known for his discipline. You know, he was not living the fighter's life, so to speak. But for that particular fight, he had an occurrence and a tragic. Hey, Cass Sports, the Buckstorian, how are you doing, brother? Thank you for pulling up. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. Welcome. Absolutely. Um, about 10 days before that fight, James Buster Douglas, um, his mother passed away, unfortunately. And I heard him say on an interview, can't remember where it was, but I heard him say in an interview that that actually added fuel to his fire. And he pulled out the performance of his life against a dude that the world deemed as the scariest dude alive at the time, including me. You know, Iron Mike Tyson was decapitating people, you know, left and right. His fights were lasted. I mean, the U.S. anthem, lasted more than his fights. That's how scary Prime Mike Tyson was. Okay. So that's my second fight. Okay, first fight is Ali Foreman. Second fight is Tyson Douglas. Now let's get to the third fight. The third fight is a different type of fight. It's James Lights Out Tony versus Roy Jones Jr., Mr. Captain Hook himself. Okay, this is an interesting fight, and I see it as a must-see fight because it is a very high-level chess match, in my opinion. Okay, Roy Jones Jr. got the victory. Some people think he dominated. I disagree. I disagree with the knockdown. I don't think I understand that a punch landed. You know, obviously, I have to swallow that pill. But I think James Toney was coming to his own on the second half of the fight. Started timing him, did very, very well. But it may have been too little, too late. It just might have been. Okay. Um, I think it was a great fight. I'm just so bummed out that it was only once that they met up. You know, that's the real bummer here. Why didn't we get a second one? We got Roy and B Hub a second time. Why didn't we get Roy Tony second time? But nevertheless, it's a great fight to watch. Okay, that was up to three. The fourth fight is a pretty recent fight, and that's Devin the Dream Haney versus Vasily High Tech Lomachenko. Okay, that is a scoring nightmare of a fight. Very entertaining fight. Personally, I had my scorecards at 7-5, favoring Lomachenko. I understand Devin Haney got the victory. Great fight to watch. Very entertaining fight to watch. Okay. Matter of fact, I might watch it again tomorrow. Um, okay, so I am up to 4 fights thus far. I have 2 fights for you for 5 and 6, and that is Oscar De La Hoya versus Sugar Shane Mosley. Both fights, okay, 1 and 2. Um, Great fights. They fought each other at their primes. Okay, um, tough fights to score. I understand both went to Mosley. I saw both going to Oscar De La Hoya personally. Okay, again, this is a very, very hard fight, tough fights to score. Great fights to watch. Okay, so if you're a casual or a hardcore or anything in between, must see fights right there. Now, this following fight is another recent fight. It was an all-out war. I think it was something along the lines of like 7 knockdowns in 4 rounds, some crazy stuff like that. And that's Jose Cepeda versus Ivan Baranchik. That's that's just a firefight. The definition of a firefight. Okay. So I'm giving you different type of fights, right? Different type of fights for different type of reasons, but in the end, they're all must-see fights. Okay, Jose Cepeda versus Ivan Baranchik. Okay, um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's my 7th fight out of 20. I'm going to my 8th fight. This one was a recommendation of a brother of mine. His name is Puro Sur. Shout out to Puro Sur, great boxing mind. Okay, I love me some Puro Sur. I've been in some panels with him, learned a lot from him. Um, and this fight is Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker versus Jorge El Mero Mero El Maromero Paez. Jorge Paez. Pernell Whitaker versus Jorge Paez. That is a high level, and I'm talking high level chess match of a fight. Okay. I had the pleasure of seeing that fight, I think, twice. That is going to go up, definitely. Okay, obviously, Mr. Paez suffered a cut during the fight, which affected him, but nevertheless, Pernell Whitaker versus Jorge El Maromero Paez, that is a must see fight. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that was my 8th fight. My 9th fight is in another recent fight, and that's the third one. The third fight between the Gypsy King Tyson Fury versus the Bronze Bomber Deontay Wilder. That is an all-time great fight, all-time great heavyweight fight. All-time great rivalry, all the rest of it, right? Fury and Wilder on the third. You feel free to watch the trilogy. The first one was awesome too. The second one was a little one-sided, but nevertheless, the third fight they knocked each other down more than once. Obviously, Fury ends up getting the KO victory, right? It was a pretty nasty KO. Let us not forget that Mr. Deontay Wilder hit him with that famous shot that literally sent a shockwave through Tyson Fury's body. Okay, um, absolutely unbelievable fight. Those two in that night, Fury and Wilder, they took about 20 years of each other's life. I would say. Okay, left me with an unforgettable memory. So for that, thank you very much, Fury and Wilder. Okay. My 10th fight out of the group of 20 is what I consider to be Sergio Maravilla Martinez's best performance of his career. No, it's not Paul Williams. No, it's not. It's Sergey Zinziruk. Okay, Sergey Zinziruk, for those of you who might not know, um, coming into that fight against Sergio, he was undefeated as an amateur and as a pro. But here's the kicker, right? He never been knocked down even as an amateur or as a pro. And he went up against Sergio Maravilla Martinez, and that was a comprehensive ass whooping. It was, okay, excuse my French, whatever the case may be, but Sergio Maravilla Martinez's best performance of his career is Sergey Zinzirok. Just a masterclass of a performance against a dude that was undefeated and never hit the canvas before. That definitely changed there. Okay, so let's move it along to number 11, and that is the de facto boxing GOAT. Feel free to disagree. That is Mr. Sugar Ray Robinson. Okay, versus Jake LaMotta. Now, they fought each other so many times that I lost track of it, right? But on the sixth fight, Jake LaMotta took an ungodly amount of punishment from Sugar Ray Robinson. How he didn't get KO'd is, still trying to figure that out. But that was the fight that sparked that storyline that Jake LaMotta went over to Robinson and told him, "You never got me down, Ray. You never got me down." As you see in the movie Raging Bull. I don't know if you caught that movie or not, but I think I saw a few interviews where that didn't happen. I don't know. I'll have to look that up for you. But that's the fight that sparked that rumor, famous rumor. Okay, Sugar Ray Robinson versus Jake LaMotta. You can watch them all. I mean, those two were made for each other. Okay. Now, my 12th fight is a fight that happened 1 or 2 weeks ago. It's the fight with Eduardo Sugar Nunez and Christopher El Pitufo Diaz. My boy from Puerto Rico, Mr. Pitufo, went over to Mexico and fought his heart out. Um, Came up on the short end of the stick, unfortunately, but he got a standing ovation from the Mexican crowd. He really did himself proud, bro. He really did everything he could to came up with the victory. Unfortunately, it wasn't his night. But talk about being a winner in a loss. In the eyes of the crowd, that's it right there. If you haven't caught that fight, it's probably on YouTube already. I saw it on the Zone. Please go back and watch it. That's Eduardo Sugar Nunez versus Christopher Pitufo Diaz. Okay. The 13th fight is another fairly recent fight that I absolutely enjoyed, and that was Oshaki Foster versus Rocky Hernandez. This fight took place in Mexico, if I'm not mistaken, as well. That fight, all three judges, if I'm not mistaken, had Rocky Hernandez up in their scorecards going into the last round, and Oshaki Foster pulled it off with the stoppage. Mr. Rocky Hernandez took an ungodly amount of punishment from Oshaki Foster. Um, an unbelievable fight. I think that was round of the year also. The final round for Oshaki Foster versus Rocky Hernandez. Please go back and watch that fight if you haven't. Okay, highly recommend. The next fight is a the 14th fight is a place. It's a fight that will forever have a special place in my heart, and that is Felix Tito Trinidad versus Oscar De La Hoya. Yes, sir. I remember watching that fight. I was a teenager, I think 16 or something like that. Um, and I, I'm pretty sure I haven't celebrated like that ever again. Like that Trinidad win, bro. Like the whole country, like literally, I can tell you this firsthand. Okay, you didn't see a car in the street in that fight. Like the whole country was watching that fight. Okay, the whole island here, Puerto Rico, was watching that fight. That's how beloved Felix Tito Trinidad is to us. That's how much he means to us, and that's how much he means to me. He, yeah, people can argue the outcome. Obviously, Oscar De La Hoya did himself no favors whatsoever by basically taking the last rounds off. Okay, that certainly had a lot to do with the decision. Nevertheless, when he roared that "puñeta" after that win, bro, I echoed that. I'm not gonna lie. So that's Trinidad and Oscar De La Hoya for you. That's fight number 14 in my group of 20. Okay. Okay, let me give you a quick rundown, right? I started with what I think is the best upset of all time, which is Ali and Foreman. I followed that up with Tyson and Douglas. Okay, James Toney versus Roy Jones Jr. Then I went with Devin Haney and Loma. Then I went with both Oscar De La Hoya and Shane Mosley fights, the first one and the second one. Okay. Then I went with a firefight with Jose Cepeda versus Ivan Baranchik. Then we have a high level chess match in Pernell Whitaker versus Jorge Maromero Paez. After that, we have the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3. And number 10 is Sergio Martinez versus Sergey Zinziruk. In my opinion, Sergio Martinez's best performance of his entire career. And this is one of my favorite fighters. Okay, I follow his entire career. I followed that up with Sugar Ray Robinson versus Jake LaMotta. Then I followed that up by Eduardo Sugar Nunez versus Christopher Pitufo Diaz. Unbelievable fight. Oshaki Foster versus Rocky Hernandez as well. And I got to 14, which is Felix Trinidad versus Oscar De La Hoya. Okay, that's where we're at here. Number 15 is Oscar De La Hoya versus Ike Corte. What a fight that was. Good Lord. Have mercy. Amazing fight, evenly matched fighters. What was the outcome of that? Was it a draw or did they give it to Oscar? Give me 1 second. I can't believe I didn't look this up earlier. I literally just forgot the outcome of that. What outcome? Give me the outcome, man. Go. Give me just a second. Oh, okay, Oscar De La Hoya won the fight against Icorte by split decision. I thought Icorte edged it out personally. Nevertheless, it's an amazing fight to watch. Okay, highly recommend. Another high level chess match. Okay, number 16 is a fight that's near and dear to my heart. That is Sugar Ray Leonard versus Roberto Manos de Piedra Duran 1. We don't need to go into the Nomas fight, and definitely no need to go into the third fight. The first fight was an unbelievable performance by Roberto Duran. How he took on the superstar of boxing at the time, Sugar Ray Leonard, and beat him. No questions, no nothing, no controversy, nothing. Roberto Duran went in there and dogged Sugar Ray Leonard. It was an amazing fight. Sugar Ray Leonard's gonna have his moments. Sugar Ray Leonard here, right? But yeah, that's one of my favorite fights to watch. That's Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Hansel Stone Duran one. Go ahead and catch that one. Okay, number 17 is a heavyweight slugfest of a fight. It's a firefight. It's Michael Moorer versus Bert Cooper. Multiple knockdowns. I think Michael Moorer came out with the stoppage win, if I'm not mistaken. Bert Cooper definitely had his moments. Um, crazy fight to watch. I feel kind of bad for Michael Moore. I think Michael Moore is one of those fighters that is mostly known for a loss more than anything. I'm talking about obviously the George Foreman loss. Yes, the Hands of Stone, Cast Sports. Yes, sir. It sucks for Michael Moore because he was really good. And I mean, I guess it's like a Meldrick Taylor type, or even like an Hector Camacho, or even a Wilfredo Gomez, and a few others. They're mostly known for that one loss, for losing the big fight, quote unquote. Nevertheless, amazing fight, Michael Moorer versus Bert Cooper. Catch that one if you will. The last three fights, two of them has one of my favorite fighters on it, and are for different reasons. We got my boy, the Pride of Wales, Mr. Joe Calzaghe versus Joe Left Hook Lacy. This is one masterclass of a performance. It's the performance that made Joe Calzaghe. This is you can point to the Robin Reed fight, the Chris Eubank fight, you can point to the Kessler fight. This is the fight. This is the keystone performance of Joe Calzagi's career because, well, a couple of reasons, right? First of all, more than 80% of the press leading up to that fight had Lacey running through Joe Calzaghe, including the UK press. Yes, this was not only USA press, this was the UK press as well. So, Joe Calzaghe pitched a complete shutout in that fight. Jeff Lacey was bloodied and caught up and took a million punches. Oh, and one other thing, Joe Calzaghe was told at like age what, 17 or something, Mr. 46 and 0. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. 46 and 0 himself. Joe Calzaghe got told by a doctor when he was very young. I'm gonna get that number for you guys. That he wouldn't be able to box anymore because his hands were so bad. So just let that sink in, right? The second one I have my boy Joe Calzaghe versus Bernard Hopkins. That was a split decision win. That was an absolute chess match of a fight. Obviously, Hopkins got that first round knockdown against Joe Calzaghe. People can debate. Whatever the case may be, Joe Calzaghe came out with the victory. An absolute chess match of a fight. Okay, highly recommend. And the 20th and final fight of this group is a recent fight, a fight that is sad for me, and that's a UK fight between Lee Wood and Mr. Michael Conlan. That was an unbelievable fight. I think Michael Conlan knocked him down early, was controlling most of the fight, and then Lee Wood came with an unbelievable comeback and landed a vicious KO, which had Michael Conlan go out of the ring. It was bad. It was bad. So there you have it, fellas. We have our 20 fights. Um, uh, okay, let me just give you the rundown now. Actually, let me put up the link here. If anybody wants to chop it up, feel free. You don't have to show your face, you know, nothing, okay? Just come in and tell me what you think, or if you want to talk about something else, I'm all ears. So here's the rundown, right? We have Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman. We have Iron Mike Tyson versus James Buster Douglas. We have James Stoney versus Roy Jones Jr. We have Devin Haney versus Loma. We have both fights with Oscar De La Hoya and Sugar Shane Mosley. Both fights, okay, 1 and 2. We have Jose Cepeda versus Ivan Baranchik. We have Pernell Whitaker versus Jorge Maromero Paez. Unbelievable fight. We have Fury and Wilder 3. We have Sergio Martinez versus Sergey Sinziruk. We have Sugar Ray Robinson versus Jake LaMotta. We have Eduardo Sugar Nunez versus Christopher Pitufo Diaz. We have Oshaki Foster versus Rocky Hernandez. We have Felix Tito Trinidad versus Oscar De La Hoya. We have Oscar De La Hoya versus Ike Quartey. We have Roberto Duran versus Sugar Ray Leonard. We have Joe Calzaghe versus Jeff Lacey, Joe Calzaghe versus Bernard Hopkins, and we ended up with Michael Moore versus Bert Cooper and Lee Wood versus Michael Conlan. Okay, we are up to 40 now on the must-see boxing fights. We're going up to 100. Next stream will be another 20 that I will select. I'm already up to like 7 or 8. Okay. Um, I'm going into, Nassim Hamed versus Kevin Kelly. I mean, you name it, right? I'm going in. For the time being, those are the ones that I have. So yeah, we have a few wars. We have a few high-level chess matches. We have a few style clashes. Style clashes we have is Oshaki Foster versus Rocky Hernandez. We have Felix Trinidad versus Oscar De La Hoya. We have Lee Wood versus Michael Conlan, another style clash. I mean, we got Roy Jones Jr. versus James Toney. We got Sergio Martinez versus Sergey Zinzerov. All of those are style. Oh, I mean, how could I forget Sugar Ray Robinson versus Jake LaMotta? I mean, that's the definition of a style clash, right? We have high level. I mean, Leonard and Duran is another style clash, and Calzaghe versus Lacey is another style clash. We have some wars here with Michael Moorer and Bert Cooper. I mean, Ali Foreman's another style clash. Come on, and Tyson and Douglas too. Wars, we have Michael Moorer versus Bert Cooper. We have Jose Cepeda versus Ivan Baranchik. We have Fury and Wilder 3. We have Pitufo Diaz versus Eduardo Sugar Nunez. Um, let's see. High level chess matches. We have Oscar De La Hoya versus Ike Quartey. We have Joe Calzaghe and Bernard Hopkins. We have Pernell Whitaker and Jorge Paez. We have Devin Haney versus Loma. We have James Toney versus Roy Jones. And we have Oscar De La Hoya and Shane Mosley. So you see, I'm being, generous. We have a little bit of everything here. It's not everything about, let's see who falls down for. Oh, by the way, coming up, top 100 must see knockouts. Um, yes, I have a lot of fun with that one. After I'm through with the top 100 must see fights, I am going to do the top 100 must see knockouts. Okay, be on the lookout for that one. I have dropped the link. If anybody wants to pull up and say anything, 1 minute, 5 minute, 30 second, 10 minute, whatever the case may be. Um, so you know what? I don't want to spoil the next list. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna say, oh, I'm also mixing up the times too. I don't want it all to be recent fights or back in the day fights. So I'm going. I'm gonna throw a little bit of everything in there. You know. Um, this fight, the one that I felt worst was, let's see, because this is kind of debatable. I felt bad for. Appreciate you, Cass. Yeah, when I get to 100, I'm gonna do like a full open panel because I'm gonna need some help because we're gonna put this in order now. Like, who's the number one, number two, etc. Um, I felt bad for Ivan Baranchik. That was a horrendous KO that he suffered. I felt bad for Rocky Hernandez. The worst that I felt for was Pitufo Diaz, bro. Pitufo went over to Mexico and just gave hell to Sugar Nunez. Came up short, but got a standing ovation from a Mexican crowd. So that right there is a win in and of itself. Okay, Pitufo's definitely not done. Far from it. I feel bad for Burke. Oh, I felt terrible for Michael Conlan. How could I forget this? I feel horrible for Michael Conlan. I do like me some Michael Conlan. I do love that man. I mean, I always thought he was a good fighter, darn good fighter. He just, man, he just had this. I mean, I guess he fought the wrong fight too many times, right? He fought the wrong fight against El Venado Lopez. That was a really bad knockout. Um, Also, this guy named, I think, Kendall Gill or Jordan Gill, something like that. That was another bad one. And of course, we got the Lee Wood one, which was a great fight, but really bad one too. I'm not gonna lie. He did come back though. He did score a win versus Bateson. That was like last week or something. Who wins? Oscar versus Bud. Ooh, and Prime Oscar was a problem. A problem. I don't. I'm gonna tell you the truth, Cass. I don't have Bud losing to too many people. I don't. Um, I got Bud Crawford. I got Bud Crawford. Um, yeah, I got Bud Crawford that one. Again, we're comparing Lambos here. Um, Oscar's resume is one of the best resumes in boxing history, in my opinion. But Oscar versus Bud, I got Bud Crawford. I don't got too many people beating Bud Crawford. I don't. I don't. I think he's that guy. Resume or not, he is that guy. The eye test for me has Bud Crawford winning. Um, yeah, I don't have Bud losing to too many people. Not at all. Um, let's see. Okay, you lean to Bud yourself. Okay, I got you. Yeah, yes, man. It's just that Bud Crawford doesn't. I don't see a weakness. I don't. I mean, I know there's no perfect man, no perfect fighter, or whatever the case may be, right? But I just don't have. I don't have a weakness for this guy. I don't know what he cannot do. I don't know. I don't know. Um, this guy is 1-1. And listen, Floyd Mayweather is also 1-1, and Oscar De La Hoya is also 1-1. Okay, but nah, but Crawford's something else. Yeah, he can fight you. He can box you. He can. Oh man, nah. Yeah, it's Bud Crawford. Now, when it comes to Sugar Ray Leonard and Sugar Ray Robinson, that's when my brain goes spinning. My brain goes spinning. But other than those, I think Bud beats Manny Pacquiao. I do think so. I don't see him struggle. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao's got those blindingly fast hands. Yes, he does. He got those quick feet. Pacquiao ain't got no defense. He doesn't. He never had any defense. He just was able to absorb that punishment early in his career and when he was in his prime. But let us not forget, he caught Barrera in the end. He caught Morales in the end. I don't think he beat Marquez. I don't, especially a third one. A third one was disgraceful, in my opinion. Um, Coro, he drained them. Um, I do give him. I mean, Oscar was way over the hill. Oscar was over the hill against Floyd. Imagine if he was over the hill against Manny Pacquiao. Who else? He does have a lot of wins. I mean, I'm not here to dog Manny Pacquiao's resume. Okay. Um, but let's see. Bud Crawford. Interesting. So Bud Crawford versus Aaron Pryor. Who wins that fight? Oh boy. You see, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Aaron Pryor, Leonard. You can throw in Duran in there. You can throw in Tommy Hearns in there. You can throw in what's the name of this guy? Uh, and I lost it. It'll come back to me though. I just remember the Cotto fight. Yeah, it was Ricardo Torres. I need to talk about this fight. That's gonna be on my next list. Spoiler alert. That boy Torres, Ricardo Torres. That's the. Oh my God, what a fight! Ricardo. Oh, Benitez. Man, Chaos Sports. Uh, Benitez. Wilfred El Radar Benitez. Defensive genius. Hard to hit. Could fight in the ropes like nobody could. You want me to pick one between Bud and Wilfred Benitez? Oh man. Uh, I'm gonna I'm gonna say draw for now. I'm gonna say draw. I'm gonna say a draw. Um, I can't. It's hard for me to pick against Benitez. It is hard. Um, yeah, I think Bud Crawford. Oh man, I don't like it. I don't like saying this, but yeah, I think I'm gonna lean to Bud Crawford there. I got Bud Crawford. Complicated fight. Oh yeah, master boxer. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Master boxer. Um, gave Sugar Ray Leonard one of the toughest fights of his life. Now, Sugar Ray Leonard had many tough fights, obviously, but the Wilfred Benitez fight was, yeah, that's going into the list too. I'm not gonna lie. um, I think once he said it, right? I think Leonard said that Benitez was his toughest fight, but that's debatable. He fought literally everybody, so you know, who are we kidding here, right? Um, Benitez also gave Tommy Hearns a very tough fight. That fight was. I never seen anybody go to the ropes, willingly go to the ropes against Tommy Hearns, right? I've never seen anybody do that except for Wilfred. I mean, I haven't. I should. Okay, let me rephrase. I haven't seen anybody go willingly to the ropes against Tommy Hearns and survive and live to tell the story, right? Um, except for Wilfred Benitez. Yes, sir, he did beat Duran. Yes, this is what I keep saying. It's not four kings, it's five kings. Okay, let me say that again. It's not four kings, it's five kings. Wilfred Benitez is a king. Please and thank you. Also, yeah, he suffered a loss against Mustafa Hamshaw. He did, and obviously it ended up tragic for him. But Wilfred El Radar Benitez is, to this day, the youngest champion in boxing history. I remember he beat Antonio Cervantes, otherwise known as Kid Pambele, Colombian knockout artist. Absolute masterclass boxing performance on display by literally a teenager in Wilfred Benitez. Okay, unbelievable fighter. Wilfred El Radar Benitez is, to me, the greatest fighter out of Puerto Rico. Now, I never saw Carlos Ortiz. Okay, let me be very clear. I didn't see Carlos Ortiz. I didn't see Sixto Escobar. I didn't see the Coco Kid, Herbie Hancock Arroyo. Okay, I never had the pleasure to see those fighters. For what I have seen, and I've seen Camacho, I've seen Trinidad, obviously, I've seen Coro. Um, okay, no problem. We can chat, absolutely. Um, I've seen Calderon, I've seen Edwin El Chapo Rosario, I've seen Alfredo El Salcero Escalera, I've seen Juan Laporte. Juan Laporte, interesting fact about Juan Laporte, the champion from Guayama, way south in Puerto Rico. By the way, Cass, let's do a show together when we get to the top 10 or top 15 Puerto Rican fighters of all time. I'll just have an opening. I don't even have like a set date for that, so I'll just we can do it impromptu. We can do it whenever. Okay, I would love for that if you will. Um, I've seen. Juan Laporte is the only fighter that I know that fought both Salvador Sanchez and Julio Cesar Chavez. Okay. Um, I've seen Alfredo El Salcero Escalera, who got into two brutal fights against Alexis Arguello. I mean, brutal fights. Okay. Um, and many more. I mean, many more. To me, the best fighter. Oh yeah, how did I forget about Wilfredo Gomez? I did see Wilfredo Gomez. Before he ran into Salvador Sanchez, he had, I think, 32-0 with 32 KOs. It's ridiculous. He's still around though. I remember he went to a show that we did in the gym that I used to train at, um, where I did the sparrings that I told you about and all that. Yeah, because the gym's name is Wilfredo Gomez, so he went there. So I'm absolutely pleased to see him. And a lot of people have Gomez as their goat here. A lot of people have Wilfredo Gomez as their Puerto Rican goat in boxing. Um, I definitely, well, I can't say definitely have it in my top five because, I mean, we have Benitez, we have Trinidad, we have Coro, and then it becomes, yeah, he probably makes the top five. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, he probably makes the top five. So, yeah, Wilfredo Bazooka Gomez. I appreciate you, Cass. Yes, sir. Yeah, we can just work something out, for whatever date. Um, all right, so Benitez is definitely a fighter. If anybody is unfamiliar with that man, please go and watch. I recommend. Which fight would I recommend you watch first? I would say either Duran or I mean, you can watch the. Actually, go back and watch his first title fight. Okay, go back and watch the Wilfred Benitez versus Antonio Cervantes, otherwise known as Kid Pambele. Okay, I remember my father was telling me a lot about that fight and how happy he was. Um, all right. Okay, so let's go through. Okay, so let me ask you this, Cass, if you're still there. To me, the greatest upset of all time is Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman. Um, do you concur? Do you have Tyson Douglas? Do you have another one? I was just gonna say Cervantes. Yes, sir. Right, minds think alike. um, yeah, that's the number one recommendation for Benitez. If you want to watch a fight of him, go back and watch that one. Um, all right. Oh, let me write the fight that I was recommending people watch. I don't know if you've seen this one, Cass. Let me know if you have or haven't. That is Orlando Salido versus Turtsak Jim. If you haven't seen that fight, Cass, please watch it. Unbelievable fight. Okay, that one I covered in my first, group of 20. Liston, Liston against who? Against Floyd Patterson or what are you thinking? Um, oh my goodness, that's an unbelievable fight. It don't even make sense what you're gonna see in the ring. Trust me, that's yeah, because that's not a high profile fight. Yeah, that's a fight that happened, I think, in Mexico, and I saw it, and I was just literally in awe of what I was seeing. They took like 20 years of each other's life in that fight. Um, God bless them both, though. Thank you for that memory. Oh, Ali's biggest upset. Okay, well, yeah. I mean, I got. I mean, the thing is that my father literally told me that he was afraid for Ali's life. Like it was like at that level of scare. I mean, yeah, Sonny Liston was super scary. Um, but the problem with those fights, as unbelievable and as iconic as the image was, and the moment, the Phantom Punch and I shook up the world and all of that. The problem with that I have with the Ali and Liston fights is that they were, mirrored in controversy. And in one fight, he wouldn't come out of the corner. I think he said something wrong with his shoulder or something like that. Uh, and on the other end, the other one was the Phantom Punch. The Phantom Punch, and Liston was take a look at Liston on the canvas. He was literally like looking like, come on, man. Like, but yeah, like the moment was unbelievable for Muhammad Ali because Sonny Liston was murking people. He was literally murking people. Okay. Um. So let's see. I and not only that, Sonny Liston literally ran through Floyd Patterson, and Floyd Patterson is a legend. He's a legend. Um, there are several fights just off the top of my head. The Pitbull Cruz and Tashiro Fierro fight is a musty fight. Um, I had a recommendation from my beloved sister Shawa Laya, which is James Toney versus Dave Tiberi. Have you seen that one, Cass? Have you seen James Toney versus? Let me put it here on the chat. James Toney versus Dave T. Berry. Have you seen that one, Cass? If you're still there. or anybody? Because she recommended that, and I know that if she recommended it, it's good. So I'm definitely. I watched some of it, but I haven't seen the whole thing, so that's why I didn't cover it on this list. But yeah, that is a fight that I will be watching. Um, I mean, obviously, you got the Leonard Hearns fight. You got, to me, Nassim Hamed and Kevin Kelly. It's a must see fight as well. I got Keith Thurman and Sean Porter as a must see fight as well. Feel free to disagree. That was an unbelievable fight, in my opinion. Um, oh, a bunch of them. I mean, boxing's been around forever, so it's. I remember the Brandon Rios and Mike Alvarado fights as well. Awesome fights. Obviously, all of the damn near all of the Pacquiao and Marcus fights, especially the first one, I would say. Um, Marcus and Barreras, another one. Marcus and Barreras, another one. For sure. Yeah, that's going in the list as well. Oh, you did see it. Oh, okay. Awesome. Awesome. Um, okay, I haven't seen it. One of the biggest robberies. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna be watching that fight with one eyebrow raised already. Okay, appreciate that. One of the biggest robberies. That's another topic that I should go into. Let me just go into on the top of my head biggest robberies. Off the top of my head, I got Oshaki and Robson Conceição one. I have Sergio Martinez versus Paul Williams one. This is just me, okay? Robberies, okay? Not close fights that didn't go my way. Like a Haney Loma or like Bevo Peterbiev one. Though that's not a robbery, in my opinion. Another robbery, and this I can confirm, is Julio Cesar Chavez versus Pernell Whitaker. That's another robbery. They robbed Pernell Whitaker. I personally think that they robbed Pernell Whitaker also against Oscar De La Hoya, but that's just me. Okay. Several robberies, man. Like, oh, let's see. Oh man, how come I can't think of many? I should have like 20 swimming around my brain here. Let's see. I said Oshaki versus Conceição one. I said Sergio Martinez and Paul Williams one. I said, in my opinion, Lennox Lewis versus Vitaly Klitschko was another robbery. Vitaly was ahead in all scorecards, was winning the fight, but he just had a otherworldly nasty cut. Um, yeah, that's Vitaly Klitschko's cut against Lennox Lewis. I'll put that right up with the Team Siu cut versus Sebastian Fundora one, and Badu Jack cut versus Marcus Brown. And yeah, there's a few that I'm missing, I'm sure, but yeah, those are right there. Okay. Um, let's see. Robberies in boxing. Robberies. Interesting topic, though. I got to prepare for that one. Yeah. Well, another robbery, as I understand, was Ricardo Finito Lopez versus Rosendo Alvarez. A lot of people felt Alvarez should have won that fight. Came up with a draw. Oh, another robbery. A recent one was Bronco Adames versus Hamza Shiraz, brothers. That draw made no sense whatsoever. Whatsoever. Okay. Um, let's see what else we got here. Another robbery, a recent robbery that I actually went to this fight. I went to the Hitchens and Paro fight, and in that card there was a fight with Jalil Hackett versus Jose Cheito Roman, and they scored that fight for the local Roman. Now I'm Puerto Rican, okay, and they scored it for the Puerto Rican fighter. I felt Jalil Hackett got robbed. Now, that's basically yesterday's news, right? Because Jalil Hackett is fighting at well, technically 154, right? He just fought, what, a week or 2 weeks ago against Elijah Vines. Pretty good performance. Um, but he missed weight. He missed weight for that one. So I don't know. Is he going to 160? He's going to 140. I mean, is he going to 160 or is he going to 154? We shall see. Okay. Definitely looking forward to Jalil Hackett's next fight. I do like me some Jalil Hackett. I had the pleasure of interviewing him um, back in the press conference for his fight against Roman, the one that I just said. Um, him and his father, Bernard Hackett, treated me very well. Major props to them. Thank you. Um, what else we got? Oh, tomorrow. Tomorrow, how could I forget, right? Tomorrow we have um, my boy Oscar Pupilo Collazo defending belt versus Philippine fighter Jason the Striker Vason. Okay, we shall see. I am just a little, upset that it is not a title. I mean, I'm sorry, a unification fight against either Melvin Jerusalem or Pedro Taduran, which is the other two belt holders, all the way back to the strawweight division. I understand Oscar Collazo has a regular champion over at the WBA. His name is Ryusei Matsumoto. Um, as it stands, Mr. Jason Vison is ranked number 7 at the WBO, and he is ranked number 10 at the WBA, which is the two sanctioning bodies where Collazo has is the champion of. Okay, the Tony Tiberi fight started a U.S. Ooh, I did not know that. Look at this. The Tony Tiberi fight started a U.S. congressional investigation into boxing. Oh boy. You know what? I might have to do a whole show on that fight. Now that I think of it. Good God. Man, I'm kind of reluctant to watch the fight. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna watch it anyway. If I saw Cotto Margarito, I can watch anything. If I saw Luis Resto versus Billy Collins, I can watch anything. Um, wow, it was that bad, huh? It was that bad. It started a United States congressional investigation into boxing. Wow, just wow. Look at that. So yeah, I mean, like I said before, regarding the James Toney and Roy Jones fight, right, that's one of those fights. You know what I should make a list of? Um, top fights that we never got a rematch, and we should have. Yeah, you're giving me ideas, Cass. Thank you very much. Top fights that we never got a rematch, and we should have, in my opinion. Okay. Can I think of? Oh, Sugar Ray Leonard versus Wilfred Benitez. Yes, yes, Gabriela. Thank you for. You know what? Let me look it up here because she's the co-main event, right? Gabriela Fundora, the sister of Mr. Sebastian Fundora, Mr. Giraffe Man himself. Okay, his sister Gabriela Fundora is fighting in the co-main event tomorrow against. I'm trying to see who her opponent is. Just a second. Just a second. But like fights that we never got a rematch, and we should have. I got Tony and Roy Jones Jr. I have Sugar Ray Leonard versus Wilfred Benitez at the top, at the tip top of my list. Okay. Uh, oh yeah, D1 was telling me he watched the Road to Undisputed of Oscar Collazo. Definitely got to watch that one. I saw it on the song. Um, let's see. Okay. Okay, here it is. Gabriela Fundora versus Alexa Skubicki. Okay. Um, Alexa Skubicki is a lady fighting from Canada. Shout out to my Canadian brother, Mr. Ryan Fraser, Boxing Talk up north. Was kind enough to um, pull up on me yesterday. We chopped it up for a while. Okay. Um, so yeah, that's Gabriela Fundora versus Alexa Skubicki tomorrow for the co-main. And the main event is Oscar Collazo versus Jason Bison. All right, I'm gonna be live for that one. Um, Let me put up the link again just in case anybody missed it or anybody wants to chop it up. Let me keep thinking about fights that I wish we had a rematch. Well, actually, you know what? I should put in James Stoney versus Vasily Girov on that one too. Come to think of it. Yes, definitely. Um, Keith Thurman versus Sean Porter. Yeah, that should have been a second one, in my opinion. Um, I think, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, right? Devin Haney and Loma. Um, I got word from from a brother of mine that Loma petitioned, and they told him to run it back, and he said no. Definitely gonna look up, look into that one. um, let's see. It's interesting because should we have gotten Tito Cast Sports? It's saying the fight was in New Jersey, and two judges that gave the fight to Tony. Oh, look at this. The fight was in New Jersey, and the two judges that gave the fight to Tony weren't even licensed to judge in New Jersey. What the heck is going on here? Oh my goodness. Like, what the heck? And no, it's fine. It happens to me too, Cass. The typos, never mind. Trust me, it happens to all of us. Appreciate you, sir. Um, wow, wow. You you're gonna have me doing a whole show on this fight. I'm so interested now. Okay, New Jersey and what a coincidence, huh? What a coincidence. The two that gave it to Tony weren't even licensed to judge in that. How do you pull that off? I mean, it is boxing at the end of the day. Um, Nevertheless, I'm doing over the just off the top of my head here fights that we wish we would have seen rematches, and we didn't. So far, I have James Stoney versus Roy Jones Jr. I have, an interesting one. An interesting one is AJ and Klitschko. To be honest with you, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that one again. I know Klitschko was on his way out, but nevertheless, that was great. He really did himself proud on that one. Vladimir did. Um, Fights that I wish we would have seen the rematch and we didn't. This is a great. Oh my goodness, Felix Tito Trinidad and Oscar De La Hoya. How could I forget that one? Absolutely, we should have had a rematch of that one, and we should have had a rematch with Oscar De La Hoya and Ike Quartet too. That's undeniable. Oscar De La Hoya versus Ike Quartet deserved a rematch. Come on. Um, yeah, that sucks. What else we got? Actually, you know what? I think Roberto Duran versus Ken Buchanan. We should have seen a rematch. I know Duran was untouchable, but Ken Buchanan was a dog. Okay, he gave him fits in that fight. You know that's going in the list, just between us, right? Yeah, they only fought once. Unbelievable fight that one. Roberto, Hands of Stone Duran versus Ken Buchanan. Um, there's more. I know there's plenty more. Just gotta think this through. Fight. I mean, we should have seen Ward and Augustus another time, in my opinion. But I mean, I'll think that a little bit more. Um, what else? What else? What else? There's a lot. There's a lot. You know. Actually, you know what? Foreman and Lyle too. Yeah, we should have had a Foreman and Lyle too. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't have minded. Not one bit. Um, Bradley Prabodnikov, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. That was so brutal. That was too brutal. Let's think about fights that were close, that you were. Benavides and Morel, yes, but not right now. Morel, I don't know what's going on with David Morel. I was super high on David Morel, and then he had that god awful performance against Imam Kataev. Am I being too harsh when I say god awful? Maybe, but man, he was just clowning around and got put on his ass for his troubles. Um, nah, he gotta bring me back though. I don't have my foot out the door, but I have one of my toes out the door. Yes, yes. Thank you, Cass. That is truth. Preach, sir. Lennox Lewis versus Vitali Klitschko should have had a rematch. Come on, Lennox Lewis. I will give him this. He rematched everyone that beat him, but he did not rematch Vitali. He didn't, and that's Mickey. I don't like it. Um, Great fight though. Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I should be compiling that list right now because I'm gonna forget about. I'm gonna forget about a few of those. Um, yeah, there we go. Now I got a question because this is a fight that I mean, how do I put this right? Like, oh man, I had and I lost it. Give me a sec. Um, what about Floyd Mayweather versus Miguel Cotto? Vitali was ahead. Casport says Vitali was ahead on all three cards. Yes, yeah, that was a super nasty cut, but he was beating Lennox. He was. Okay, there's no question in my mind about that. If you want to say Lennox was a little over the hill, okay, maybe, no problem. Um, I personally think Vitali is the best of the Klitschko's. That's just me. But yeah, I do think so. I am going to watch the Undisputed, Road to Undisputed of Koya. Can I share my screen here? Oh yeah, I can share screen because I wanted to do like breakdowns or analyzing or just watch alongs of great fights and everything. So I'm gonna be doing that as well. Um, Let me think about a few others. Fight that I wish we have had a rematch and we didn't. Um, let me put some brain here. Let me think about a recent one. Let's see. Well, actually, not for nothing. We should have Virgil Ortiz versus Sergey Boachuk too. You know, um, I know Boachuk just lost to Brandon Adams, and Virgil is gonna fight Lubin. I realized that, but that was an unbelievable fight. Um, and a lot of people, and yours truly is included, thought that Sergey Boachuk won that fight. Okay. Um, but nevertheless, not to take anything. Virgil is not my cup of tea, as I said many times, but all respect for this fight. All respect. They both went straight to the hospital as they should have. And they're both good, which is happy to hear. So I have Sugar Ray Leonard versus Wilfred Benitez. I have James Toney versus Roy Jones Jr. I have one my brother Cass just put, Lennox Lewis versus Vitalik Klitschko, as some of the fights that I wish we could have seen more than one, you know. And just to go with a recent one, we have Virgil Ortiz versus Sergey Bohachuk. He did. He definitely dropped Virgil twice. Yes, sir, he did. Um, and they still gave it to Virgil. So goes to show you, and that happens sometimes. You know, Joseph Parker got dropped twice versus Zhilei Zhang, and still won the fight. I guess I can, see that happening on his face, but I personally thought that Boachuk won the fight. Now, I'm not going to go robbery or say something crazy because it was that competitive, right? It wasn't that he was robbed. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm just saying that to me, Boachuk, won the fight. Just did a little bit more. Um, got a lot of ideas here. I should compile a list of top Hispanic fighters, all the rest of them. Yeah, it's just a matter of time. You too? Okay. You too, yeah. Um, I'm not mad at. I wouldn't mad at. I'm sorry. I wouldn't be mad at anybody saying the opposite. But me personally, I saw that fight like 2 or 3 times. Maybe I should see it more. But yeah, that's what I thought. I know Manny Robles, went on a tear on the post-fight, conference, robbery and everything. I thought that was a little just a little over the top. I understand it's frustrating. I understand, and I do like me some Manny Robles. Okay, I consider him one of the top trainers today. Top trainers today, you got Brian McIntyre, also known as Bomac, right? In my opinion, Andy Lee is right up there at the top. You got Ben Davidson over at the UK. I mean, you got a bunch of dudes, right? You want to say Robert Garcia, you want to say Freddie Roach, you want to say Floyd Senior. Floyd Senior is one of the greatest to me of all time. Nacho Beristain from Mexico. You got Eddie Fudge. I mean, you got Angelo Dundee. You got Ray Arcel. The list goes on and on, right? But yeah. Well, let's see. What else can we? Let me get another. Let me just get another one that I just wish we had seen a second one of. Let me just get one more. Let me go over. Well, I said Trinidad and Oscar. Yeah, let me get another one. Trinidad and Oscar. I said Oscar and Ike Quartet as well. Arcel was incredible. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Ray Arcel was unbelievable trainer. Um, I'm gonna do a show on trainers and all of that. Yeah, that's on the bucket list for sure. I'm gonna talk about trainers. I'm gonna talk about referees, cutman, everything, everything. Um, there we go. Just trying to think of one more fight. Okay, so let me just first of all let me give you my prediction for tomorrow. I think Coyas is gonna stop Mr. Bison. I'm gonna say 7th round. Okay, that's my prediction for tomorrow. God, I know I have a fight in my mind that I was like, only once they saw each other. Man, I mean, I guess Barrera and Marquez would be a good choice, but I think yeah, out there's something better. I think. Yeah, I think so. Let me just think. Trinidad and Vargas. That's interesting. Trinidad and Vargas. Nah, maybe not. Cotto. Let's see. Casper saying he trained Roberto, so I have to call Arcel my favorite trainer. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all time. Who's your favorite trainer right now? Right now, mine is Bomac, and I have Andy Lee as a close second. Just right now, all time. Oh my goodness, I got Floyd Senior. I have Ray Arcel. I have Eddie. Eddie Fudge is right up there as well. There's so many good choices. A lot of them. A lot of people are high on Robert Garcia. I'm not one of those, but if you want to say it's him, welcome. He got the award, right? He got the Trainer of the Year award. Congratulations to him. I personally think Robert Garcia did a great job with Marcos Maidana. He did a great job against Marcos Maidana. I mean, a great job with Marcos Maidana. Now Bomac and Fred. Okay, awesome, awesome. Bomac and Fred. Oh yeah, Freddie Roach was there. Who was he cornering? I was like, man, Freddie's still in the game. How about that, man? What a legend, still out there in the ring, man. Who did I saw him corner, man? Like, oh goodness, I think it was. I don't remember. I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, it's Freddie Roach. Double OG in the house, triple OG in the house. Oh man, that's great to see. That's awesome to see. And I think Nacho Beristain also, as man, it's a season that's that man is wow. They just live for this. They just live for this, bro. They're gonna do this until they can't do it anymore. You know, um, kind of like me. I can just pull up a live and just start machine gunning that mouth, and topics will come up. And next thing you know, we're here for 2 3 hours. So yeah, that's how much we like it. We love this thing called boxing. Um, we do. Um, Now was Bud Crawford in any fight that I wouldn't mind seeing again? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, Gamboa. Gamboa is the one that. But I mean, he finished him too, right? So nah. And then you got Kavaliauskas, Mr. Mean Machine himself. I'm gonna go ahead and watch that fight again, okay? Because it's one or the other fight, right? The only two that could even be considered for a rematch, right? Not Ricky Burns, not Errol Spence, not Madrimov, not Canelo, not Kell Brook, Amir Khan, Hank Lundy. I mean, you name it, right? Jose Benavides. The list goes on and on, right? Sean Porter, you name it. Um, did Freddie Pro Martinez? Which Martinez? 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 Which last weekend? Martinez. Man, I should know who you're saying, but I don't. Who are you referring to? Which Martinez? Let me think here. Martinez. Sorry, Martinez. Um, gosh. Oh, Lester. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're. What? I think Bomac. Well, Bomac wasn't in his corner because obviously he had Bud Crawford. Yeah, I know he trains with Bud Crawford's camp. Um, maybe I don't. Did he? Because I know when Billy had the Ramsey guy, right? The guy that trains Beterbiev. Um, um, may, maybe. I think maybe oh, I saw it somewhere, man. That's I think yeah, actually, you know what? What am I doing? Let me just look it up. Did Freddie Roach train Lester Martinez for Mbili? Let's see. Freddie Roach. I don't see an answer here. Let me just look him up here then, I guess. Notable, notable mock boxers. I don't see it here. I'm gonna look it up, Cass. I'm gonna look it up. I promise you that. Definitely. Something tells me that might be a yes. He might have trained Martinez. Man, that's interesting. Um, anybody here? You know what? I'm gonna say something. I think the Sugar Nunez versus Diaz fight was a little bit better than the Billy and Lester Martinez fight. That's what I think. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go on a limb and say that. Is it fighter of the year? I don't know. First of all, there's like three and a half months to go. Not to mention the November card. Um, but there's a couple up there. Yeah. So, um, let's see. I don't think I have anything else to talk about right now. So that's about it. That's about it. This was my third live. Let's talk about this thing called boxing. Um, I am on the way to getting to 100, the top 100 must see boxing fights. Thank you very much, Cass. That means the world to me coming from you. I appreciate that very much. God bless you, sir. Thank you for being here. Thank you for writing in the chat. Thank you for the support. God bless you. And by the way, I'm going to go live tomorrow for the Collazo fight. And I will see you soon, sir. God bless. Um, thank you for tuning in, fellas. Everybody that you know tuned in even for a few minutes, like Boxing with 24 and also Mr. Boxing Hacker. Appreciate you both, and my brother, Mr. Cass Sports, the Boxtorian. If you don't know who he is, if you don't, I'll hop on the. I didn't wake Cass. No problem, Cass. No problem. Yeah, you being here means the world to me. You know this. I appreciate you wholeheartedly. And if any hearing this, watching this, if you're not familiar with this man right here, Cass Sports, the Boxtorian, please go ahead and subscribe, like, comment. He is a boxing encyclopedia and a great gentleman. He knows his stuff, and so will you if you follow him. Okay, follow Cass Sports, the Boxtorian. That's an order. He goes live Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. Um, Again, thank you very much. God bless every single one of you. Next live will be tomorrow. Okay, I'm gonna do 20 more must-see fights. We're gonna go up to 60. Okay, we're working our way to 100, and once we have those 100, we're going to have an open panel so that we can put those in order and chop it up. Okay, I appreciate you too, family. Everybody have a great evening, and God bless. See you all tomorrow.